there, my name is Jean Lyon and I am a speech and language therapist working in NHS Lanarkshire. Along with my colleague Katie Gruer, we have created this presentation, Having Fun with Books, to provide strategies to develop language, interaction and creative thinking through the use of books. Reading with your child builds their vocabulary, expands their knowledge of the world and develops their thinking. How much your child learns from being read to depends on how they are read to. By reading with your child instead of to them, you can increase the opportunities for interaction and conversation with your child. To get your child involved in a book, the first step is to watch to see what they are interested in. This is easier when you are facing your child, as they will pay attention to both you and the book. Now, wait. This gives your child an opportunity to point or say something. Next, follow your child's lead by commenting on what they are interested in. Finally, keep your language at the level of your child. You can do this by using clear and simple language, reading slowly and exaggerating key words. We know that we can increase our child's involvement in a book through watching for their interests, waiting, following their lead and simplifying our language. But when is the best time to do this? These strategies have the greatest impact before or after you turn a page, after you make a comment about a story or a picture, when something exciting happens in the story, or after you ask a question. When reading with children, our first response is to get them to label all the pictures in a book. But there is so much more that you can do to increase the opportunities for conversation. Try asking questions about the book that relate to your child's experiences and interests. Using comments instead of questions can take the pressure off your child and gives them an opportunity to think more about the book. Instead of using questions that test your child's knowledge, such as, what colour is this? Try using open-ended questions that have no right or wrong answers. For example, what do you think will happen next? And if you want to challenge your child a bit more, try some thinking out loud comments, such as, I'm wondering why Goldilocks ran out of the house. These encourage your child to think and give an opinion. Although it is important not to bombard your child with too many questions during story time, asking some questions in the right way can help to keep their attention, support their understanding, and develop their talking. You can ask questions before, during, and after reading a story. Look at the front cover together before you start. Pause at certain points during the story and reflect together on what happened in the story once you finish. Remember to give your child plenty of time to answer questions. Young children often need longer to process what has been said and to decide what they want to say and how to say it. Start off with easier questions, then step up to those that are more difficult. Some examples of questions at different levels are given on the next slide. Try to ask open-ended questions. These often begin with why or how. These types of questions encourage more thinking, imagination and conversation. Lastly, remember, you are not testing your child, so give them prompts when needed. If your child's not sure how to answer a question, give them choices, clues, or ideas. Here you can see some examples of questions that could be asked when looking at this page in the story Zog by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. As you can see, the questions are listed in order of difficulty. Try to match the difficulty of the questions with the level of your child's language. If they answer with ease, try a more tricky question next time, or if they need prompts to answer, then focus on easier questions. Books provide a great opportunity to introduce new and exciting words to your child. Before reading a book with your child, it's a great idea to pick out some vocabulary to target and to plan how you might introduce and explain these words. Choose some everyday words that your child uses when chatting. Next, think about some Goldilocks words. These are not too easy, not too hard, but just right. These words might be new and unfamiliar to your child. You can expand your child's vocabulary further by introducing different word types. Naming words such as hedgehog, action words like scratching, and describing words such as prickly. Finally, you might want to pick out some superstar words to challenge your child. These words may seem too complex or sophisticated, but exposure to these types of words are great for stimulating a child's curiosity and for getting them thinking. In Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler's book, The Smeds and the Smooths, we've selected some vocabulary that would be great to target with your child. Planet and rocket are everyday words that your child might know already. Marry and explore are Goldilocks words that will expand your child's vocabulary. And the superstar words of suspicious and antennae are there to challenge your child even further. After we've selected some target vocabulary from a book, we then have to think about how to make these words stand out and be memorable for your child. Before, while and after you read the book, emphasise the new word to focus your child's attention. This can be by pausing, stressing the word, or using a quieter or louder word. Next, you can give your child valuable information about a word by show and tell. Show them what the word means using a picture, gesture, or facial expression, and tell them the meaning of the word. You can make the word more meaningful to your child if you relate it to their own personal experiences. Finally, repeat the word many times. The more times your child hears a new word, the better he'll understand it. Try to then use the target word throughout the day in different situations. Let's have a look at how you could target the word explore from the Smeds and the Smooths. First, emphasise the word in the book. Bill is getting bored jumping on the Humplety Hill with the Smooths. He is going exploring. Show and tell to give your child meaning and context to the word. Watch me. I can walk around the room and look with my eyes to explore. What will I find? Explore means to search and discover new things. Relate the word explore to something that has happened in your child's life. Do you Remember when we went on an adventure to explore the beach? We found crabs and shells and seaweed. Finally, repeat the word as much as possible into everyday situations. Will we go to the park to explore? Look, the little birds are exploring the bushes. What will we find in the sand? We are pirates exploring for treasure. Creating activities relating to stories that you have read together can be a fun and engaging way to support your child's language development. Why not try an acting activity from the Gruffalo? Encourage your child to pretend to be the Gruffalo and ask them to show you their claws, teeth and knobbly knees. Or use the room on the broom to develop a conversation. Have a chat with your child about the witch's magic potion and encourage them to think of ingredients they would choose for their own magic potion. What magic power would they like to have? David McKee's Elmer book is a great starting point for an arts and crafts activity. Draw or print out elephant templates for you and your child to decorate. Take it in turns to describe each elephant, remembering to use lots of different describing words. Lastly, you could use the snail and the whale for a storytelling activity. Encourage your child to retell the story in their own words, remembering to give them prompts if needed. There are endless opportunities in books to develop vocabulary, language, and creative thinking with your child. So be imaginative, see where the book takes you, and just have fun.
You can follow NHS Lanarkshire Speech and Language Therapy Children and Young People Service on our social media, on Twitter at SLT North and at SLT South Lan, and on Facebook search for Speech and Language Therapy NHS Lanarkshire. You can contact us via our email address sltinquiry@lanarkshire.scot.nhs.uk or phone our helpline number on 01698 687 606.